From personalized video to wear and share technology, MDT Marketing's suite of student journey solutions are designed to simply deliver
Wow!
moments that boost engagement and conversion rates at targeted milestones in the student journey. Try them for yourself at mdtmarketing.com. Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp here on the EdUp Experience Podcast, where we make education your business. Dr. Joe Salustio back with you on episode 1000. No, we've only done about 470, but we're well on our way to 1000. And we've interviewed somewhere around 160 college presidents. That number is about to go up by 3. Yes, I said it. Overwhelmingly, 3 college presidents have shown up on this podcast. I'm overwhelmed by incredible insights that are about to take place, and at the mercy and honor here of the people who are joining me. I'm going to try to ask good questions. It's going to be remain to be seen if I can accomplish this feat of asking incredible questions to this group of college presidents. I'm going to bring them in one at a time, and I'm going to ask them how they're doing and where they are. And here we go. Here we go first. Let's see who I got first. Let me make sure I got all my stuff right. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. Her name is Chris Kuberski, and she is president of Highland Community College. Chris, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
All right, Chris, I'm going to ask you to go first here before I bring in my other guests. Tell us very quickly about Highland Community College, where you're located, what you do, and how you do it.
So Highland Community College is a rural college in northwestern Illinois. It's in Freeport, Illinois, which is about 2.5 hours west of Chicago. We're bordered by Iowa and Wisconsin. And we serve a very ag-pro community, and we have a lot of small feeder schools. So we are very personable in what we do because we have such small schools that we work with. Many of our students are College Now students and dual credit students. So we have a very strong College Now program with about 30 students in it last year, which when we're, our head count hovers around 1,000 right now. So when you have 30 of those students as high school students, that really does change the dynamic, I think, of our classrooms in a good way. Our focus, our premier programs are ag and nursing. And we also have very strong programs in criminal justice, welding, manufacturing, as well as transfer. And I would say about 50 to 60% of our students are transfer. The other 40 are career tech. One of our focuses right now is on culture work. We're working with culture partners to improve our culture, and that clearly aligns with what we're hearing at AFIT this week. So
amazing.
It's amazing. I see, that's my voice.
Amazing.
No, it's not. It's not really my voice. Chris, thank you for that. And let me bring my other guests. And here we go. Guest number 2, ladies and gentlemen, here he is. He is Dr. Kirk Overstreet, and he's president of John A. Logan College. Dr. Kirk Overstreet, how are you today?
I'm good, Joe. How are you?
Tell us a little bit about John A. Logan College, where you guys are, what do you do, and how you do it.
So John A. Logan College is also in Illinois, but we're about 5.5 hours south of Chicago. So we're at the very, very bottom of Illinois. And we are what I would consider a semi-urban or semi-rural community college. We actually have about 4 counties that we serve. We're 2 main counties and then 4 other splinter counties, pieces that we serve. But we're right down the street from a major university, Southern Illinois University. And so there is a bit of urban center that we're close to. Our total population, though, of the region is about 140,000 people. So it's still a very small area when you consider where we are. We're a comprehensive community college. Like Dr. Kuberski, we have basically, welding and the CTE programs. We have a big nursing program. We also have quite a bit of transfer. I think I'm brand new to this role. I'm actually brand new. I'm a year and a half. I still feel like I'm brand new. But I've been in community college for about 15 years and higher ed for about 20 now. And so but we're going through changes. obviously coming out of COVID and then coming in to a new presidency, bringing in new ideas and working on our enrollment and our diversity issues. So we're trying to do a lot of that work right now. So coming to the AFIT conference and doing the work that we're doing here about culture is really important to me. My PhD is in organization development, so that it falls right into my suit. So it's really been a great experience.
Thank you, sir. All right. Last but not least, certainly, here she is, Dr. Lisa Ryan. She's president of Yavapai Community College. Did I get it right, Lisa, or did I get it wrong?
You did. You were really close. Lisa Ryan, president of Yavapai College. I just started my 4th year there as president. Have 33 years in higher education, working at 3 universities and 3 community colleges. Yavapai College is a rural community college located in Prescott, Arizona. We serve a vast service area in Yavapai County, the size of the state of New Jersey. We have 6 locations, including 2 campuses and 4 centers. And we serve 7,000 for-credit students and additional 3,000 non-credit. We have some unique programs in viticulture and enology. We have a 12-acre vineyard, and we show students how to grow grapes and make wine. We also have a brewing technology program and a gunsmithing program. And this year we started a 3D construction program where you use 3D construction using concrete to build homes.
Did you say you had a brewing program?
We do, a brewing
program.
I had to do it.
Had to do it.
So this is really interesting, you guys, because we have Yavapai that's basically in one of the meccas of higher education in the country, right? Arizona and the Phoenix area has some of the biggest colleges that you can imagine. We have a semi-rural institution and what Dr. Chris, you classified as a rural institution. And so I'm going to ask this to all 3 of you, but I'm going to go backwards this time, and I'll start with you, Lisa. I talked to this in the last episode a little bit, the kind of cognitive dissonance that exists around community colleges right now. That is that community colleges have never been more important, and the stigma around community colleges has never been lighter than it is now. I think that comes along with the importance in people wanting to upskill and reskill. Seeing community colleges as a pathway to education without truckloads of debt. So there's great reasons to attend a community college. At the same time, many community colleges are having trouble with enrollment. So it's this kind of funny spot that community colleges are in just a little bit. Can you speak to that, Lisa, related to where you are in Arizona?
Yeah, so you're right. It is the era of the community college. We, for the first time, are earning the respect that we've deserved all along in providing opportunities and access at low cost to high quality educational experiences that either lead directly to a job, importantly, supporting our economy immediately, or to a transfer program. So yes, it is the era of the community college, and we're thankful for that. We're starting to get some recognition from the state for that as well. And they're putting money in the game. We're all funded differently, state by state, so that's a little different for each of us in the game. But we are seeing enrollments that are flat at best. And we're all struggling to attract students of any kind at all to education right now. I think that's true across the board. We're also seeing in the labor market the same issue where employers can't find people for entry-level jobs or jobs where individuals are retiring, the aging out of their populations. So we're experiencing it, and so is the workforce. And it's one of the biggest challenges that we face as presidents, I'm sure.
Kirk, same question to you. What's this cognitive dissonance that exists? How important are community colleges, and how do we get more students in them?
So one of the great things right now is that we've just been given the ability to do grants,
That's
Sorry,
okay. You know, this happens on the EdUp experience. We all get choked up from time to time. You got to let it out. We're going to skip you while you take a moment, and we're going to go over to Chris. Chris, same question to you. How do we get around this cognitive dissonance that exists?
Well, I think if we had the answer to that, we would probably not be here. We'd be on the road telling everyone else. But one of the things
it is
that,
$1 million question.
yes, it is. And I believe that it resonates with all community colleges, whether they're urban or rural or what, whatever mission that they have in their own communities. But one of the things that we see, we've recently finished our strategic plan, and we're really focused on stressing that comprehensive community college that Kirk mentioned, and the fact that we offer so much more than just the classes, in the classroom. We also have the wraparound supports. We have the people that understand financial aid and the people that understand first generation students. And we have people who understand the workforce needs and all of those things. And we've had that for years. My question always is, why don't people better understand that? What have we not done to get that message and make it clear to our communities? And one of the things that Highland has just launched is a new branding campaign. And we worked with a company called Interact. And I believe that what we have is our new brand. It says it's all here. And it has been, but we need to make sure that people understand it still is, and it will continue to be. And so somehow that message, I think, has to be shared more broadly. Even though we're receiving funding and federal recognition, I still don't think people understand the quality that we offer, and that it's not second to the university. It's really even better for many of our students, particularly who don't know what they want to do or have short-term goals, who have family responsibilities and all of those things. So how we continue to send that message, I think, is really a challenge to help people better understand what we really do offer them.
Incredible.
What I like about what you said is you brought up branding. That's important, right? We have to go get the students. I've said in a couple things I've said lately in talks I've given that if you build it, they will not come. You need to go find the students, and we need to convince them, because it's not just, for your competitors in your area, it's very easy to know, okay, it's easy to understand that for the student, we're competing against this other institution. That's easy to understand. That happens in any kind of industry. But when you're competing against the question of whether the product has value or not, which is happening to all of us within higher education, it creates that cognitive dissonance, because you're not just competing against another institution, you're competing against the thought that maybe higher ed just isn't worthy anymore. Kirk, how do you deal with that at John A. Logan?
So, one of the things we're focusing on now is to help explain to our students and particularly like our returning adult population, what this is going to do for you economically over the next 20, 30 years. You can get a good job making decent money right now, but without that degree, you're not going to get to that next step. So your earning potential really goes up the further up the chain you go. And just with an associate's degree, you increase the amount of economic generation that you're going to be having over your lifetime, like threefold from what you would for just a high school degree. So it's messaging. I think to Chris's point, I mean, we really need to rebrand and remessage what we're saying to our folks about why you should come to college. We want to be two things. We want to be a place where people can come back and upskill and learn what they. And then we want to be a place where people come and learn to grow. And so the best thing about being in a community college is that we do it for the community. So it's not just those traditional age students, and it's not researchers. It's a whole gambit from 1 to 99. We bring in everybody from the senior level to kids that are still in high school, kids that are in junior high.
So you guys are at AFIT summer session. You're with learning partners. I know that the focus is happiness and culture. Lisa, over to you. What are you hoping to learn, to take away and bring back to your organization? Where are those points where you say, yeah, we need to strengthen culture here, or we need to bring more value here, or we need to understand employees' emotions more here. What's the hope as you interact with your colleagues and hear the learning partners give talks about happiness and culture?
Yeah, so this year we're talking about that intersection between strategy, culture, and leadership, and with a focus on belonging. And just by chance, we completed a new strategic plan with 4 pillars. One of them happens to be belonging. And so we're trying to further foster that sense of belonging, not only amongst our students, but also amongst our employees. And looking at the great resignation, the great quit that everyone's talking about, and having difficulty finding talent, not only in local industry, but in our own organizations, we're here having conversations around that. And I think the beautiful thing about the model here at AFIT is that in order to stimulate that organizational change, they have us bring teams of staff and faculty with us. And it's a team-based learning approach that use design thinking frameworks to solve an immediate issue. So we're all facing the same issue together, and we're trying to figure out within our own organization how we might walk away with an action plan to begin to further more sense of connectedness, relationships, and belonging amongst our employees and our students.
MDT Marketing helps colleges and universities like yours boost your enrollment automation campaigns by infusing your content with wow moments via solutions like personalized video, which weaves personalized data into video content to deliver one-to-one video communications that boost engagement with your student contacts. But you've got to try it for yourself. Visit mdtmarketing.com, then select personalized video from our menu. Student Journey Solutions from MDT Marketing. Wow! Moments simply delivered. Chris, over to you here. And I like what you said, Lisa, because of the team approach. It's really important to involve, as a president, and I know that you all are always thinking about transparency and shared governance and inclusion and belonging amongst your staff to bring you ideas and thoughts and so on. And so that crowdsourcing solution, as it were, is really important in solving problems, which higher ed isn't necessarily known for. Chris, we're not known for solving lots of problems. We like to. It was funny. I was writing an article today. Nobody will ever pick it up, but I was still writing it. But talking about how sometimes committees can be this black hole of conversation and nothing ever comes out of them. So how do you take the learnings from the day and apply and solve a problem versus, we do 10 to 10 conferences in higher education. We learn things and we don't necessarily go and fix them, but that's what AFIT is, right? It's about innovation and transformation. Where do you take the learnings from today and innovate and transform?
Well, Highland has been involved in some in-depth culture work over the last 2 years. So I think what we're thinking about in our team is how we continue the momentum that we're seeing and add the elements that we're learning here, take them back to share with what we call the President's Direct Report Team, and then cabinet, and then beyond that to campus, and keep that momentum of culture, because it is so vital. And one of the things that resonates with me is that if our students don't sense that we get along and we're supportive of each other as employees and staff and faculty, they will feel that, and it will negatively impact their experience and their level of engagement on campus. So not only is it critical for us as a workforce to feel connected, but it's important for our students. So it's not just about us as employees, but it resonates to our students. And so how do we make our culture more supportive for each other, so ultimately we can be more supportive of our students? And I think to take that back, part of it is to stress the common goal that we share, student engagement. I don't think anybody who works at the community college is opposed to student engagement. And so how do we use that as our kind of collected goal? And if we can have that focus on that collected goal, then it seems to me that we can embed these ideas and these principles throughout our culture and really strengthen it long term for the sake of the institution, but even more importantly, for the sake of the student.
Kirk, Chris said something that I really liked, which is momentum. I've been in higher ed for about 20 years, and I'll tell you guys, I don't know if you feel the same way, but sometimes I feel like maybe my team's doing okay, maybe they're not doing so well, maybe they're doing very well. But even sometimes when my team's doing very well, I get a feeling like something, I need to do something. So the momentum is a feeling. It's a feeling that comes to you through staff, through students. And when you have that feeling, it seems like everything is just better. A big part of creating that feeling and creating momentum is happy employees. When the employees are happy, they're more engaged, and the students are happier, and so on. And we're in a place in higher ed where it's really hard to find talent and really hard to keep talent. Is that something that you're facing at your institution at John A. Logan? And what do we do about that? Because that's the other $1 million question.
So that's interesting. So, I'm a firm believer in continuous improvement. So that momentum is that bringing this back, and the way that we're working on that. And then we do have that issue. We have a dwindling talent that we're going to be able to focus on. We have retirements coming up. We live in a smaller area that's not going to attract people to move to that area. So I developed a leadership academy. So the group that I have with me today is 2 of those folks are going to be the leaders of the next leadership academy. We're going to have 2 cohorts of leadership academy where we bring this out to our staff. We're going to take what we learned here. We're going to bring it to them. We'll massage it a little bit, change it, direct it a little bit towards exactly what we need.
Wonderful.
And then use that to really launch and create, a really healthy bench for us to pick from on promotions and move people up in the institution.
Yeah. So the question to all of you, in a time where we know that the value of happy employees and engaged employees, engaged students, and balancing that with employee losses, sometimes there's this question of, do I backfill? Do I have the budget to backfill? What do I do? Do I have the money? Because in a declining enrollment situation or a flat enrollment situation, you have to watch numbers pretty close. Lisa, over to you. What do you do? And how closely do you balance the numbers with the feeling of momentum?
I think you have to find creative ways to do that sometimes. We've struggled too, particularly in the career technical areas, to find qualified individuals to come and do those jobs because they can make so much more money in the field, and we can't pay those salaries ever. So we have to find creative ways to do that. We've talked about the possibility of growing our own talent within, taking our own graduates and getting them the skill sets they need to move into those roles. But if I had the answer, I'd share it. I definitely think we have to just be creative in doing that and find ways sometimes to piece it together. In rural Arizona, we have 3 institutions that are not close together by any sense of the imagination, but we've even worked to share some faculty that maybe come once a week and teach at each institution and then are virtual at other times. And so we've tried to piece it together, some talent in creative ways, but it's not a long-term solution.
Yeah. Chris, talk about anything that you can think of innovatively at your institution that you feel is contributing to the culture in a positive way, happiness in a positive way, that's made a difference for your institution at Highland.
One of the things that I think kind of dovetails with what Lisa was saying is we had some programs that were declining and they needed to be sunset, and we were able to repurpose those faculty members. One of them was our hospitality instructor. He's finishing his MBA and is going to become a business instructor. And the other was our auto body instructor, who's went back to school and is now our full-time welding instructor. I would like to think that those kinds of reimagining positions and programs would help build the trust that we are wanting to fully develop the people that work with us and cultivate them, not shun them because their program declined for reasons outside of their control, but we valued them as people, we valued them as instructors, and so we're finding ways to reuse them. We've talked a lot about reimagine on our campus and how we not only reimagine our spaces, but our culture and how important that is for the longevity of the institution. So I'm not sure that that immediately answers the question that you raised, but it's a connection that I thought of as we were talking, that much of it is showing value in the people. And I think the culture work that we're doing, the fact that we're talking about it and that our employees know that we want to build trust and that we're focused on building trust is going a long way in helping them see that we do care about them as individuals, we care about them as a team, and we care about what they're doing to help serve our students. And I'm seeing that that's starting to resonate, but we've been on this path for 2 years, and it's just now starting to be discussed more openly, and you're hearing some of the buzzwords and some of the things that we're focused on in our cultural beliefs. So the message to me has been, you can't take your foot off the gas pedal yet. You've got to keep pushing it, keep it in front of everyone, keep showing why it's so valuable, because it takes quite a bit of time for that kind of shift to occur. So don't lose heart in watching it go slowly, because if it's moving at all, you're making a difference.
And just for the record, there is no answers to any of the questions that I asked, because they're just horrible questions in the first place. But if any of us had the answer, we'd have, 1 million students in our institution, wouldn't we? I mean, that's the point, is it's grit and it's creativity. It's good leadership. It's surrounding yourself with even better people to support your leadership and so on. And it's sometimes on the spot decision making. Kurt, and I'm going to come to you for this one, because I know you all deal with this. And it's balancing culture with expense, with enrollment. When one takes a hit, the other can take a hit. And how do you ensure that you maintain mission amidst increased expense structures that are created from declining student enrollment, but not change that mission to achieve some other goal and change the trajectory of the university? Complicated question, I know. See, there's no answers, but it is balance. And balance is one of the most important management items as a college president, I would think.
Yeah, no, that's a hard question. It's definitely balance, and it's about looking and seeing what we need to do now and what we need to do in the future. So, when I arrived at my college, the culture was kind of shocked because there had been a riff about 5 years before. And so we'd lost a lot of employees to that, and we lost a lot of employees to early retirement. And so I had to make some decisions about really backfilling and getting people back into place, because we were falling apart. We weren't able to do the job. So you have to have that balance. You have to try to get to that. So building in some stability, building in that idea of building the trust with people again, that's been important. But looking at it financially, we've had to make some hard decisions about how we're going to spend and what we're going to spend, and then try to be as even keel as we can across the board, without failing those programs that will really be beneficial to us. And I think being innovative and thoughtful about how we're going to attach these programs. The short-term certificates are really a new thing for us that we're able to do, and I think that we've had to look at that. And COVID gave us some examples of how we can use hybrid and online to help our students and increase our revenue and move forward.
I know one of the biggest benefits of the Alliance for Innovation and Transformation summer session, or anytime you all are able to get together in person, is learning from each other, knowing, oh gosh, yeah, we deal with that too. And we're all dealing with what the future of higher education looks like. And that's going to be my final question to each of you. And I'm going to quote you and put you all over social media and tell everybody that you have the answer. No, I won't do that. Lisa, tell me what you think is in the future for higher education.
I think we've been predicting for some time now, for at least a decade, that higher education, even community college education, needs to change dramatically, that it's not necessarily what individuals are buying anymore. And the pandemic really accelerated that kind of thinking. to the point where we're dealing with that today. And we're having hard conversations, even here at AFIT, about what are the challenges that are before us. We know that we can't go back to where we were pre-COVID. We know that it's different right now than it was, but we also don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow. And so we're in this really strange position for the first time. Lucky us that we get to be presidents at this time in this era.
You crazy
At the same,
people. You crazy presidents.
the challenge before us is great, and it's going to be a dramatic change, a significant change to higher education. We know that. We don't know what it's going to look like, but we're here for the ride, and we're all about leaving students better off than when they came to us. That's what we do, access and opportunity, and we'll continue to ride that wave and do what we can to serve and support our students moving forward.
Yeah, you guys have probably look, a job of a college president is always hard, but I would think that it's been really hard the last couple of years and will be really hard. It's not like COVID just goes away. People are going to be dealing with the effects of COVID, and then you lay on top gas prices, and you lay on top inflation, and you lay on top of that all of, rising cost of housing. And we talk about it all the time. One little fender bender for an adult student attending community college becomes the conversation of leaving college or staying in college, and that's how you save students. Chris, what do you think about the future of higher education? What are we looking at?
Well, I see to me, where we are sitting right now is the brink of opportunity. And I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I believe it's going to have to be a lot more flexible and a lot more adaptive and much more student oriented as opposed to faculty and staff oriented. I think many of the structures that have been in place for the last 100 years are being challenged, and we have to be willing to let go of some of the things that are structured in higher ed and be more have more agility. I don't know what that looks like ultimately, but I know it looks different. And I think that if we're willing to embrace it and not be afraid to fail when we try something and it doesn't work, that it will be a better learning environment for everyone. I think it will be much more inclusive, and that we will maybe, someone said today, be better at meeting our students where they are. We like to think that we do that, but I question if we really do. Or I think we did much better at it during COVID, our initial response. So how do we hang on to that? We also found that we can change on a dime. And higher ed has not been known to do that. So one of the questions that I have asked repeatedly through this is, how do we keep that? How do we keep that responsiveness and that willingness to say, okay, we can do that, as opposed to there's no way, or how could we do that? So how can we do that is really the question. We don't have the answers, but if we're willing to ask that question and think about it, then I think we'll find innovative ways to meet the needs of the students that are very different now than they were even a year ago because of the impact, the long-term ripple of COVID. And one thing that dawned on me just this past semester was that the students that are coming to us this fall were basically freshmen or sophomores when COVID happened. They did not have a traditional high school experience. How can we make sure that they have a fulfilling college experience? Will it look the same as what it did 3 years ago? I don't think so, but how do we make sure it's the experience that they need to set them up for success? So maybe if we ask that question, we will then see what higher ed is going to look like in the future.
100%.
Oh, the crowd agrees. I will say, Chris, one thing that you said, that the elasticity of higher ed, it's your higher ed naysayers will say our innovative institutions and community college are going to go right back to what they were doing before now that COVID is over, because it's elastic and there's still inertia internally, and it's going to be easy to kind of fall right back into the seat. Kirk, is that what you see for the future of higher ed, or you see something different?
No, I think that we're here for that very purpose. I think I think as the presidents that are here with me, I think the teams that are here with me, We realize that the agility is the important piece that we have to embrace. We have to help our cultures understand that agility, and that constant change is going to have to be something we deal with now. We cannot go back. We can't go back to a 1,200-year-old institutional sort of way of doing things with all the pomp and circumstance. Some of us still love it. I mean, we like to get on our robes and our caps and our gowns and, and march. And that's always a great and an important piece of what we do. But we do have to be adaptive, and we do have to meet the students at where they are. And I think Chris and Lisa both said that. I think that they're right on the money. We have to change in order to be able to provide what we do best for our communities and our students. So we can still do the best thing for them. We've got to get it to the place where they understand it now. And you're right, and Chris again and Lisa both. Some of these students have not been in a traditional school since COVID started. So they're having a whole new experience, and we have to come to that experience with them.
Well, I have only one thing left to say.
I like you people.
You guys are great. I think we got through this, all four of us together. Hopefully my questions weren't too terrible. Your insights were much better. And let me outro you guys appropriately here. Dr. Chris Kuberski, Chief President of Highland Community College. Dr. Kirk Overstreet, President of John A. Logan College. Let me continue my applause. And Dr. Lisa Ryan, President of Yavapai Community College. Did you all have a good EdUp experience today?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Well, I thank you guys for taking time out to talk about your institution, to talk about your great work, that we also very much respect you and what it takes to serve students in a community college environment here at the Alliance for Innovation and Transformation Summer Session in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you guys. You've just EdUp'd. MDT Marketing helps boost the performance of your student nurturing campaigns. Let's say you have a prospective student who hasn't yet committed, so they get moved into your marketing automation workflow to start receiving emails, text messages, and other communications to nurture them towards enrollment. The problem is most content applied to nurturing campaigns is just not compelling. And even if it is, even compelling content needs a little boost to make sure your message truly engages your prospective students. This is where MDT Marketing comes in. From personalized video to wear and share technology, MDT Marketing's suite of student journey boosts are designed to simply deliver moments that boost engagement and conversion rates at targeted milestones in the student journey. But you've got to try it for yourself. Visit mdtmarketing.com, then select personalized video from our menu. You're going to love it. Student journey solutions from MDT Marketing. Moments simply delivered.